We used to keep huge ants as pets, but that didn't turn out so well.
Why not?
Colony animals don't make good pets.
No.
Most of our
We need to be smarter.
settlements these days are run by the ants rather than the dwarves.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
What?
Look at Percival.
Hive intelligence, they've taken over.
It's a horrible thing for our people. We constantly fight back against the ant menace.
Oh my, yeah, that's quite the problem.
Yeah, hive intelligence. Always a risk.
Yeah.
That's why we humans never developed that sort of thing.
Right.
Or did we?
Well, anyway.
Oh yeah, we should start practicing to see if we can start like having similar dreams and thoughts. As like, at what point did the worms start to talk to each other?
I figured I should introduce the three of you to the rest of our company.
Oh, yes, please.
Of course, you met in the bar, but the yellow-haired one over here is Drothis. The yellow-haired one over here is Drothis.
Mm-hmm.
He's the climbing master in our crew.
Oh.
Let's write these down.
Drothis the climber.
Drothis?
You're gonna write him?
Drothis.
Perfect.
Drothis?
I'm gonna let Nick keep tabs now because clearly Nick's the only one who knows how you spell things.
Okay.
I just have a knack for it.
It's like,
Why would it be KC?
And
Doesn't make sense.
And Drothis waves his hand and goes, "Pleasure to meet you all." And Gurgen points over to his right and goes, "And my red-headed friend over here is Anson, chief digging. You know, knows when tunnels are going to collapse, knows when things are going to fall. Master of masonry, that sort of thing. I know everything there is to know about being underground." And,
Well, good to meet you, good to meet you.
And Gurgen points back behind him, and there seems to be a black-haired dwarf standing back there. The black-haired dwarf's beard is thinner than all the rest of them, and it's bent up a bit and stretched down to a fine point. And then his hair up at the top is slicked back in kind of a long ponytail that goes down the back of his head.
ooh, is he the alternative hipster dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No one understands me.
Does he have like plugs?
Yeah.
This is Thordhelt. He's our
Thor.
Ah,
Thordhelt.
Thordheldt.
Thordhelt?
Thordhelt?
Thord.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Heldt.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, that's what
There
you.
was no D at the end, but yeah, Thordhelt.
Well, you said it
You're
with a D
saying
when
it
you
with a
pronounced
D.
it. so.
Thordhelt. Yeah, you got it. Okay. He goes, he's our specialist.
Lord Hep.
Ooh, like specialists, like in the military, like demolitions and.
Yeah, that's what I was
things?
thinking.
Thordhelt.
Like covert ops?
Thordhelt gives a shake of his head and goes, and he opens his mouth, and you can see that Thordhelt doesn't have a tongue.
Ah.
And he goes, Thordhelt had a couple of experiences with the ants I mentioned earlier. They changed him.
They take your tongue?
Yeah.
What kind of ants are these?
It's alright, though. He gained some other abilities out of it.
He's your psionicist.
Does he have like smell powers?
He's the psionicist.
What is what?
Scion.
It's hard to
Powers
explain.
of the mind.
You'll have to wait.
Okay. You mean psionic?
Yeah.
You'll have to wait and see for yourself.
His mouth doesn't move, but we hear him greet us in our heads. It's like, greetings all.
Gurgen goes, I hope you'll enjoy this venture with us.
Forgive me for being forward, but your company, they seem to be experts in all kinds of great and fantastic things. What's your thing, Gurgen?
Well, I'm the leader, of course.
Ah, yes, a rare skill indeed.
I'm also
That
the
it?
navigator.
Oh, okay, Gurgen the Navigator, alright.
And he pulls out the map. Yeah. And then at that moment, a white robe. There's a white robed figure that you can see up at the top of the stairs, and it's wearing a singular solid mask. And it's got
It is?
a singular solid mask, and it's got two slits in it with a circular hole. And it seems to have
That's real creepy.
yeah, and it seems to have its arms reach out like this, but its arms are folded. Sorry, they're not reach. Its arms are folded into its hands like this, so you can't see its hands. So it's almost like it's in a straitjacket, kind of. And it jiggles a little bit like this, and then goes jerking down the stairs and clatters down the stairs.
Is it a person?
What?
Is it a person?
You don't know.
Well, okay. There's a hole, right? Can you
Yeah,
see
it
a
looks
mouth?
like that. It's like super creepy.
Exactly. It's too dark to see from this far away.
Jeez.
Your sister is either the most unhappy person ever or super, super weird. Like, it's like, wow, I'm married to an alien, but
she
I'm
didn't
kind
really
of
have
into
a choice. I mean,
Maybe she's
father
into it.
couldn't.
That's a good.
Father couldn't
I know,
support.
I like that.
That's creepy.
It's pretty good. So the thing makes its way jerking
Ugh.
down the stairs, and eventually gets to the bottom and makes its way over to the cage and bends low, and then bends back up and steps up to the cage like this and nods at it, and the bars on the cage bend out of the way and open up a way.
A metal bender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
A very specialized form of earthbending.
And he turns and he looks up the stairs as if to gesture you, and Gergen goes, "I guess that's our cue."
Oh, alright.
And they heft up their packs and begin to make their way up the stairs.
Hmm.
As you rise on either side of the stairs, you can see that the staircase going up has a huge mural output on it. The mural is covered completely black, and there are a whole bunch of little tiny points of light just dotted all over the place, all about the mural. And as you get higher and higher, you notice that some of these points of light are in different colors. Some of them are red, some of them are purple, some of them are yellow, some of them are blue, some of them are green, some of them are orange. Just all spread out across the mural and such.
Sorry, red, purple, green, yellow, blue,
Orange.
orange.
Yeah.
So does it actually just look like a star field, or is
Yeah,
it like
kind of.
okay? So it's not so much a mural as like a big.
Thing that goes up one side of the wall and over and down the
Okay.
other
That's
side.
quite a coincidence.
So you guys go, striding up the stairs and make your way to the
Did you
very
not
top.
catch it? Ooh.
And make your way to the very top of the
That's too
stairs.
bad.
And as you rise to the top, you can see that you're now sitting in a wide open room with it's a circular room. And on the bottom of the floor, you can see it's made out of solid brass. And in the brass is the symbol of the followers of Parallax, just engraved in. And then there seems to be a glass top over the brass so that people can stand on it. That makes
Oh.
sense? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
Okay.
Like in the Chinese
Slipping.
restaurant, so you don't like
Yes,
mess up the table.
precisely.
It's like the glass tabletop.
Yeah. And then there is a high wall and a countertop going around the entirety of one half of the room, where there are seats behind it, where you imagine the
okay.
paradigms would sit.
Are there 6 chairs, like
Yeah.
one for each of the paradigms?
Yeah, precisely.
Ooh, is one of them like super special, or do they keep that whole secret and they all look the same?
No, they all look the same.
Okay, so there's no like
There's
papal
no-
throne one. It's like, you're the Grand Parallax.
There's no distinguishing features.
Or paradigm.
Paradigm.
And you can see that 2 more of those masked figures stand at each chair. So there's 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And as you enter into the hall, you can see that there are 2 paradigms present
Oh.
right now. One of them sits in the chair and kind of leans back a bit. And the first thing you notice about this guy is that he is outstandingly handsome. Just like fantastic looking. And he's got a multitude of earrings going about his ears, and each one of those earrings has like gems and various baubles and stuff going off of it. Just everywhere. And then his hair is non-existent. It's just completely bald. And you can see that in certain points in his skull, there's actually gems embedded into it.
Yikes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. But he's human.
This is the really handsome guy.
Yeah.
The Gemomancer.
Well, isn't it the case from your backstory that basically those of us who lived in the city, we've seen all the paradigms. Like they show up every once in a while and make
Yeah.
announcements.
You've
So
seen a
like-
couple of them, yeah.
So it's not like these guys are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this guy was a paradigm.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
no, it's not that. You would know.
okay.
And they don't make any effort to hide it either.
Right.
Like if they're out in the street, they're like, "Make way for the paradigm."
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
So he looks down at you.
And
as
he's
you
the
enter.
he's the relaxed one.
Yeah, he's
just like-
sitting back and relaxed. There is another man who has a kind of thinnish brownish mustache, and you can see that he's wearing a white kind of cut of armor that goes down one side, but it looks to be very, very thin armor, almost as if it's made out of metal that would break otherwise.
Almost made out of mithril.
or
Maybe.
even better than that.
Yeah, and he's sitting there
Sentient metal.
with his arms folded as if he's completely guarded. The interesting thing about him is that floating about his head and stuff and his body are all these little tiny bits of metal.
Oh.
Ooh,
Just
cool.
floating about
Those
everywhere.
iron stones.
Mm.
Well, no, they look
Oh.
actually like the same bauble bit you had. The little piece of sentient metal that the frog guys throw
Oh.
you. So it's just a whole bunch of those little bits of sentient metal floating around his head and stuff.
Are they like liquid, like aqueous?
Yeah, they just like.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Could
Like
mine
splitting
already
and
have
reforming?
a command?
It's possible. You haven't
Awesome.
tried like tossing him up and like
No, I
mentally
always
making it like float above.
Yeah,
your
they're
head.
not. They're not ion stones.
I just assumed that was like just not doing anything. Like, it just was like not.
You didn't bring yours with you, right?
No,
Okay.
I made it very
He made it
specific.
clear.
Like, as soon as I realized we were walking into this place, I was like, I should not have this.
Because the amazing
This
is
does
like
not
each
make
one of the
any
paradigms
sense.
has specialty, and he opens his eyes and go, "Wait a minute,
Like,
you."
it's one of those, like,
Heresy.
it's in my pocket, and it's just going,
Yeah, I know, right?
And
I just had a shipment stolen yesterday.
and the guy with all the gems in his head leans over the countertop and looks down at the 4 dwarves and you, and he goes, "Gentlemen, my name is Lalos, the Gemomancer, first paradigm of Lier. My friend over here is Zavalas, the 3rd paradigm of Lier." You can see that they sit in their corresponding chairs.
Oh, cool.
Oh, how disturbing. I hate it when there's asymmetrical seating.
I apologize for other members not being present. We have quite a bit of business to get down to. There was a recent incident involving one of our people. He was kidnapped while exploring the Undercroft. We mean to get him back. So I'm sorry, but we don't have much time today. We will hear your proposition.
Yep.
This is perfect.
well, it's the dwarves that are going to be doing
Yeah.
the propositions, so.
So
Wait, when he says one of my people, does he mean one of the paradigms was kidnapped?
he doesn't be specific. He's not specific.
Okay. It's like a paradigm being kidnapped is big news.
Yeah.
And he used the term kidnapped, right? Not just disappeared.
Yeah, he was kidnapped.
That correlates to what the frogman told me, right?
So Gurgen stepped out in front and he goes, "Good masters of the city of Lier. My name is Gurgen Storm. Excuse me. My name is Gurgen Stone Door.
A little nervous.
Yeah. I am here to petition you for the rights to make our way underneath the city into the Undercroft, in the northern part, over by Flumegate, and explore the lower levels. We have a map that we have found out in the wastes that we believe will lead us to a great and forgotten treasure." And Lalo spins over, instantly interested, and goes, "Fascinating. What kind of proof do you have that there will be treasure down there?" "Well, to tell you the truth, none. But the map hasn't been found for quite some time, and to be honest, we're pretty positive that nobody else has been down there until now. Also, we're dwarves. If there's any gold down there, we'll be the ones to find it." And Lalos leans forward and goes, "Yes, I do agree. Your race is known for finding money and having possession of many rare gems."
Uh-oh.
And he strokes his chin a bit. Zavalas sits over and goes, "And what do you require of us?" "Merely permission, your lordship, to go down below and explore." "I see." "You understand that the Undercroft is a dangerous place. You could get yourselves hurt going down there if you're not properly prepared." "We do, your lordship, but our kind is used to the underground." "And what are the 3 behind you?" Well, they are, No, let them speak for themselves."
I am the expert on the dragon tongue. It is what's required if we are to search within the dragon cults.
And Zavalas raises his eyes a bit and goes, "Ah, I see. A skull."
I speak, I say in dragon to him,
Ooh.
we will find what needs to be found.
He seems a bit taken aback by it, and
I'm
leans his head back,
proving that I can do it.
and then answers you in dragon, and says, "Surely you're up to the task."
Of course I am.
And
Otherwise I would not stand here before you.
he nods his head, and the dwarves look back and forth between the two of you and goes, "Well,
Now, in your realm,
mhm.
how would you consider the dragon tongue? Are we like roaring at each other? Or is it more like a dignified
I consider
sort
it
of like
a
Italian or something like that?
I consider it a series of clicks and hisses with the occasional roar."
Got it.
Okay.
Except you guys have a terrible accent. Like,
Well-
if Rio Dragons are here, they're like, oh my
You know,
gosh.
I have the Timbertown accent.
Actually, that's interesting. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, I can sense his dialogue. 18.
Yeah, you notice that Zavalos has a slightly different dialect than yours.
Ooh, interesting.
It's odd, and you don't know where it comes from.
Okay, but I know it's. Well, I mean, I don't know where my dragon dialect actually comes
You
from.
Yeah.
had Rosetta Stone.
Well,
he had an actual dragon
I mean,
tutor.
The one that you studied.
You know how I got my knowledge, so
Yeah.
that's where I got my dragon tongue.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So it's different from where I got my dragon knowledge.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Lalos waves his hand and goes, "Yes, yes, and the other two?"
You were my elder,
I'm
you-
here to provide clerical services.
Clerical services.
Yes.
Clerical services.
Healings,
Shows
support,
his spreadsheet.
blessings.
Which god do you serve?
I serve Netro, the god of wisdom and all-seeing.
The two of them look back and forth to each other and goes, and Zavalos, Zavalos goes, "We have never heard of this god. From whence do you hail?"
Wow.
You
I
got
don't
you got
think
a
I-
town name, right?
Don't I?
Come on, I have
I
Timbertown.
forget.
You must have something.
I don't think I ever named it.
Natural a god
Barbertown?
that has been worshipped for a long time, or just from a very distant land?
No, it
Well,
could be just from a very distant land.
I mean,
According to
it's-
Nick's religion, it's been worshipped for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
it's also
Yeah.
like we're in a place where 4 religions are the only ones worshipped.
Right.
So knowledge of other religions
Would be
probably not-
minimal
I
at
mean,
best.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
probably want to know about it.
Yes, I hail from Middleton.
At least you didn't
Far-
give a
far
name
to the
of the-
east.
Okay.
I
Or
love
to
the
the
name
west.
Timbertown. I love it. I'm gonna use it from now on.
It's a
for
good
everything.
name.
Oh wait, are we in the East Coast or West Coast? I forget.
West. We're on the
Oh yeah,
west
so away to
Oh.
the east.
Well, in the game, you're
Oh,
on
sorry.
the...
I see the coast.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
game, you're on the east coast of this part of the continent.
Okay, yeah, to the west.
Okay. I see. Across the wastes, then.
Indeed.
You've had quite a
I
time
have traveled
coming
far.
And wide.
No, just far.
Oh, all right.
I knew where I was going. It's
Like-
pretty narrow.
Oh, that's why it means wide, because you wander.
Yeah.
Yes, Merek.
Whoa! It blows my mind.
And
Oh,
Lalos swings forward.
It's a
Oh,
very
him.
educational channel here.
I just thought it was just something
It's
you
true.
say.
It is. I've learned a lot. And the tiny one behind you.
Oh! I'm sure if you think, you will
And-
realize you've met me. I'm a son of Lear. This is a great adventure.
So as you raise your hand, I need you to give me a luck roll.
See if you aren't recognized as a thief.
Oh god.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know. I don't
Let's roll
real
under.
rolls.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
bad. That's an
no.
18.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
spent 2
man.
luck.
You have
so-
5 warrants out for your arrest.
Yeah. So Lalos swings forward and goes, "Wait. Have I seen you before?"
I'm sure you have. Lived here my whole life. I've seen you before, but I just presumed that you wouldn't recognize lowly little me from, like, all the pronouncements and the times you've come out and talked to the people.
And he strokes his chin a bit and goes, "Huh. What is your name, son?"
Dadriel, son of Gagern, who died not some years ago. I'm now the proprietor of the Doulahan.
And he smiles a bit and goes, "Ah, I see. You've done quite well for yourself."
Well, I've had a good mentor who took me under his wing and gave me an opportunity. In fact, he's gone on a bit of a trip and is now giving me a chance to, like, learn the ropes on my own. He feels that I've come into my own and have enough leadership skills now to show that I have the ability to have my own establishment.
Lalos's jaw tightens as you speak. And he goes, "Fantastic.
Quite so.
You are granted your permission to venture into the Undercroft, with the stipulation that we get 50% of the treasure you bring back." And the dwarves go, "Whoa, 50%? Surely, my lords, you must realize that that's it's quite steep. I mean, we're the ones going into danger here. 50%, or we revoke your permission." And Zavalos looks over at Lalos and goes and gives him an odd look, but then turns back and he seems to just agree with the decision rather than care about it.
How do they guarantee what's 50%?
Well, for whatever you bring back.
Yeah, no doubt we bring before them less than we actually retrieve.
I was like, how do they how do they
Yeah.
verify it?
Yeah.
Maybe they have
And
magic.
You have
and
a secret
Lalos,
stash.
Lalos looks
50%
down,
seems
Go
steep,
back.
though. It
It
seems
is
unusual.
super
Like, super unusual. yeah.
Suspiciously.
Lalos-
As if they really want something.
Maybe
where
maintaining
we're
the
going.
city requires a lot of energy and resources. though.
No, I think it's more about where we're going.
So
Like,
the
they're
question
very
is,
interested in the goods.
Right.
does Gurgen?
Yeah,
Gurgen.
Gurgen.
Does Gurgen like notice that the other paradigm makes a funny face? It's like, oh, maybe if I can get them to disagree, we can.
He does, but he doesn't look like he wants to go for it. He looks like he's much more interested in actually getting the permission. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to test anything. He's like, all right, I'll take the 50% cut. Yeah.
My lord. And
he
I
turns
look
around.
specifically addressing Zavalos.
Zavalo? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other paradigm is
Mhm.
like, I have lived here my whole life. These travelers have come a long way. That is the type of rate that we charge the enemies of the city. Surely this is most unusual.
And Zavalos begins to open his mouth, and Lalos just cuts him off and goes, 50%, or there is no permission.
Perhaps we might speak on more than just gold. I am a scholar. I will search and I will research the undercroft below. Perhaps you could accept a lower cut in exchange for me sharing my research.
There will be no negotiation. It is 50% or nothing at all.
When Zavalos is cut off by Lalos,
Mhm.
can I give him that look that implies that I'm shocked that he would be so sidelined and disdained by Lalos that he's like, how can you let him get away with that kind of insult?
Yeah.
Does he think that you're nothing but a bug under his heels?
So,
Lalos was the one that was telling me that?
Yeah.
And I go, I'm sorry, can I talk to Zavalos about this?
and as you turn, Zavalos looks at the two of you and goes, he gets a look on his face that's like, kind of as if he's having a moral conflict within himself. And his eyebrows crunch up a bit, and he turns to Lalos and he goes, do we need to take that much? I mean, the place they are going to, oh, well perhaps that will help us. And Zavalos looks down and goes, you have a place where you are headed, right? Some sort of map, you said. Show us the map. And Lalos glares at him, but says nothing. And Gurgen goes, ah. And he looks back at you two and is like, and he goes, all right.
How accurate do I think my map is?
Your version of the map?
Yes.
You think it's pretty accurate.
Give it to him instead.
And Gurgen
I put my hand on Gurgen's shoulder and I pull up my map.
Oh no.
what are you doing?
I have a map too.
Why? But why
I'm
be?
giving-
But why be?
I'm giving them the actual map.
Fine.
And he turns
Fine.
around.
Look,
and
Merek, we might
moves
get
over.
in trouble.
And he
if-
holds
if
it.
we're
He holds it up, and one of the masked people reaches down towards it and bends a little bit. And as he does that, the map picks itself up out of Gurgen's hand and floats up to them.
Ooh. So not even Ascension Meadow, it's just
Yeah,
telekinesis.
it's just telekinesis. And it
Awesome.
lends up.
This is why we're not being tricky.
It floats
Yeah.
up and lands in Zavalos' hand, and he unfurls it and looks at it. And he goes, if only Nicholas was here. And he reads over it a bit more. Oh. And he hands it over, and he brings it over to Lalos. He gets out of his chair and goes over and bends it down and points it to him, and they begin to whisper about something back and forth. And then,
Oh, by the way, after years of living here, I'm presuming that the paradigms are semi-known to the public.
Yeah.
Did they all have names that end in us and us and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yeah, the 6 paradigms' names are Lalos, Katros, Nicholas, Onassis, Vergis,
NASA's.
Vergis, and Zavalos.
Ooh.
Those are some sweet names.
Onassis
I
is the
gotta
one I
say.
want to get to know.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
rich.
that's just,
I wanted them Nicolos.
That's kind of funny.
So
So they bend over and they have a whispered conversation, and then Lalos seems to get very, very agitated. And then he switches over to a language that none of you recognize, and they begin arguing in this
It's not
language.
neutral or law?
No.
Damn.
And they begin arguing in this language back to each other. Seems to be some sort of odd dialect. You want to comprehend languages?
Come on, they
Let
will
me think.
know that you're
Let me think.
comprehending language. You don't cast-
I'm very curious.
Alright.
Sidebar.
Prepare to be detained.
What do you think, James? I understand his opinion. What do you think?
Definitely not. If you're caught trying to then, like, it would ruin everything. They might even eat you.
They'll just
Text
die.
will glow, so they'll probably notice it.
I mean, literally, the paradigms, they're a little scary, but these guys,
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I forgot about these guys.
Yeah,
there's like
they're like right in
enough
front
them
of
in
you.
here. There's like 12 of them up there.
And they
this
have
guy.
psychic powers.
They probably exist to kill magic users.
Yeah, you might be halfway
Uh,
through your spell, your brain will explode.
I will live I will not be as curious as a cat this time.
Okay.
You'll not
Percival
be
goes,
killed
"You're
by
such a wuss."
There's a 50-50 chance Percival would die in this encounter.
Percival
just
would
because,
do it in a
like,
heartbeat.
Like, as soon as Percival tries to cast a spell, they just blast him, and then you just poof, just fur.
Yeah.
You know, if I cast comprehend languages, I get a better roll if I have Percival do it, but I have to see through Percival.
You won't get halfway through the spell. There'll be no more Percival.
You just sacrifice Percival.
I need to know Percival!
Well, also,
So-
Merek, your brother-in-law is kind of a jerk.
I'm
Kind
also
of a
willing to
dick.
bet that
Wait.
he's now wearing a
They
slave
know,
collar.
right?
I
no,
mean,
no, you don't know.
Yeah, you guys.
Oh,
Never,
yeah,
you
we-
never
yeah,
You
shared
just know
anything.
that my sister is in town.
Yeah, but you
That's
never
all we
shared in
know.
character that this is her
Yeah,
husband or
yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that.
so eventually the conversation finishes.
Because if we knew, I would totally have said, "You gotta use your
God.
connections, man. How you're not like
no,
say,
no,
dude,
I
brother."
don't.
Just go out there and like give him a bear hug.
Don't want to meet her like this.
and
In chains.
Lalos just goes and cuts Zavalos off in a hurried exchange. And at that point,
Jeez, that's
Zavalos kind of steps
fucking
back
rude.
a bit and leans back and glares at him. And he gives him this glare that you'd imagine warriors give each other when they're about to kill somebody.
Ooh, nice.
And it's just like,
Zavalos?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's the
Oh,
warrior.
he's just like, and Lalos looks at him and he goes, "Fine." And he spits the word out in common as if it tasted bad. He goes, "You will descend to the lower levels. You have our permission. We will take a 30% cut of the treasure you bring
Nice.
back. And you will find us a scroll.
Any scroll in particular, sir?
According to the map you have presented us with." And Gergen kind of looks around a bit and goes, "A scroll." And according to the map you have presented us with, you should be landing down in a part near one of the old sites of a. You should be landing down in one of the old sites of dragon worship. One of the old dragon priests' locations. In this specific spot, our information tells us that a scroll of a ritual, which will go nameless, long ago went missing in that place. You will find the scroll that describes this ritual, given that it is not lost to the sands of time, and return it to us.
What if we are unable to find such a scroll?
Then we will take the 50% cut as we originally agreed.
So it's a scroll for 20%.
How will we know that we have found it? I mean, most of the time when I've seen scrolls, they were amongst millions of other scrolls in things called libraries.
I
And they
imagine.
all look the same to me.
And they all have names.
Yes,
Yeah.
precisely.
Mhm.
That is
I've
why.
done the
And he
rituals.
lifts a hand up and flicks it a bit. And you can see that from high up above in the chamber, you notice that there are holes, like small circular shaped holes in the top of this chamber.
Mm.
And out of one of those comes a metallic sentient orb.
Oh.
And it floats down and floats in the middle of your company. And it goes, "This will be going with you.
Yikes.
It will be able to identify the scroll and also aid you on your way.
Oh, sweet.
It has a variety of functions which can be very helpful to you. For example," and he snaps his fingers, and the thing flattens out into a flat disc, which freely floats up and down. You can see that it probably can carry, that, or it can probably carry about 2 people without any trouble at all.
Ah.
And he
Alright.
snaps his fingers again, and the thing shapes itself into a long barrel-like thing with a handle at the end, similar to the followers' sticks that they carry.
Ah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
And he snaps his fingers one more time, and it goes back to a spear. It can also extend light if need be.
So just snapping would rotate
Flips
between...
through the.
What if
Its
we don't know how to
functions.
snap?
Hmm?
It's like, what if we don't know how to snap? Can we just like ask it? It's like, could you please become a thing?
No,
You
here.
clap your hands instead?
Learn this word, and it will switch form. And he says a word in the language that you guys didn't know before.
Oh,
some, like,
okay. Now
nonsense
this
word?
is worth writing notes. There is a language that I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard it, so I can pinpoint it.
Yeah.
That commands the metal.
And there's a word.
hold on, I need to look something up. So it says Nerut.
We all learned this word, because if he dies, we're screwed.
So it's Neruit.
Neruit.
Yeah.
And this cycles through?
Yep.
Okay.
So we say it, and then it becomes the next thing, or we
Yeah.
say it and we think of the thing we want it to become.
You say it and it becomes the next thing.
Okay, so it goes from sphere to flat to stick
Yep.
to sphere.
Yep.
Alright.
Should I be in charge of this? Because, Magic item, wizard.
And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Lalos
Okay.
raises
Sure.
his hand a bit and goes, "Oh, that's right." And he waves it back, and it comes back up towards him. And Lalos puts his hand on it for a minute, and brings it back and focuses on it for a second,
Hmm.
and then lets go and waves it back down. And just it drifts back down, and he goes, "Now snapping," and he snaps, and then the orb emits a huge beam of light that goes out.
Snapping
15
gives
feet.
light.
Yes,
Narut.
and he snaps again.
Narut. Changes form.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh,
Now, is it smart enough to realize the difference between saying Narut in a sentence and saying Narut as a command?
No, be careful.
Okay.
it's like, yeah. So don't name your next pet Narut. It's like. Also, is it like are the two functions mutually independent? So like when it's in this form, if you snap your fingers, it'll still produce light.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know. Do you ask him that?
Yeah.
Okay. Lalos goes, it can only produce light in its orb form.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Alright.
That makes a lot of
Because
sense.
that would be terrible. It's like we need this to get across this chasm. It's like, and then it's like pitch black. It's like, oh.
Well, we have torches.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it's a
Right,
function
okay,
with
that's
the
good.
orb. It gives you a function there. Whereas, otherwise, like, why would you have in the orb? Like, what's the purpose of the orb?
Ease of transport. I don't carry a
Oh,
big
I guess
disc around.
It
Unwieldy.
floats
It's
with you.
cool.
Yeah.
In
As a
orb
thief,
form.
being things that are wieldy are very important. Unwieldy is very important.
And don't even think about trying to make off with the scroll. We'll be watching.
If it's made with black raven feathers, I'm keeping the scroll. I'll be the first to read it.
That's not coming back. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gone. That's you'll never see that again.
Alright.
Alright.
You learn your lessons with scroll handouts?
No,
wait.
no, that was actually a good idea.
Oh, alright.
I'm waiting for the first phylactery that I can just eat. Because every game I'm in, some horrible
You
evil thing
become
comes up and I eat
phylactery.
something. I eat something horribly evil.
Yeah. Alright, so
All
okay,
right.
so the dwarves look back and forth to each other and they go, "So we have permission."
Yes.
And they go,
And
"Yes."
for only
Yep.
30%.
And the dwarves go,
Pretty good deal.
"We'll find the scroll.
30% of the scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, my lordships."
I wonder.
And they walk out of the room, and Lalos waves them off and goes, "Yes, yes, enjoy.
Strange how they didn't ask for names.
We'll send word ahead to the illuminators to let you down into the ruins."
Perfect.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Illuminate.
Paradigms.
Bastards.
Alright. So the orb floats along with you as you guys
Oh,
exit.
yeah, we didn't say our names. You did, though.
Spies.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I figured they know who I am. Plus,
Yeah.
the thing is that my theory is that no one shows up in Tossed in Paradigms unless you sign in at the front. So it's like, they know who you are. Like, they don't care.
As you reach the stairs, the masked thing looks at you and guides you back down the steps, following you.
Do we feel a tickling in the back of our heads like it's reading our thoughts as we're walking with it?
No. I mean, nothing that you can feel. And it makes its way down
Yep.
to the bottom of the step and leads you back to the cage and opens the bars again. They
Okay.
Bend.
Cool.
And it bows. And you guys head out?
Mhm.
Alright. So as soon as you guys get outside, the dwarves load up in their skiffs and stuff. And you guys head down the elevator once more and are outside in the canals. What?
Sorry. No, I just had the image of the boat with the beard again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, alright.
It's like-
I, thought, I was like,
Really?
did James say one of those words wrong?
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't.
like-
I didn't hear. It heard sounded okay.
No, he said another word wrong earlier, but I didn't. It's just this image
Wait,
of
which word did I say wrong?
when you were petitioning and you said, "I've come to partition you." It's
Oh,
like, oh my
partition.
gosh,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna kill us all. It's
Not
like you
partition.
just
Yeah.
insulted
I
them.
meant partition.
I will kill you all.
That would have been hilarious.
It's like,
Well, that's a good idea, actually. Anyway, so
Would
they lower you
you like
down,
to sign this partition?
and you're
Yeah, sure. Sounds great. Excellent.
It's like,
and you're back out in the canal, and the dwarves look at you and goes, "Fantastic. To the north, near the Flume Gate, at the top of the Compass Canal, the crossways. Meet us there in 2 days. We'll have our supplies."
oh, I thought you were all ready with all your things and all.
It looks pretty ready.
Ah.
I think that's the appearance to show to the paradigms.
Ah,
their
okay.
capability.
We're fully packed and ready to go, but we have a bit of a tradition before we go off on an expedition.
Oh, is it like getting drunk? Your last hurrah? I've heard stories of dwarves and their celebrations before their expeditions. Can we come? It sounds exciting.
Well, by then the full moon will be gone.
I suppose.
Who do we need?
I may look young, but I've had my share of drink.
Ah, I'm not sure if you three would like it. It's gonna be quite a dwarven affair.
Hey, wait. There aren't going to be bearded women, are there? I've heard about your women. I'm not into that stuff.
What's wrong with bearded women?
In my culture, we
Bearded
like
women are canon?
No.
Oh, okay.
we like them to be
They're not?
Some of them
clean shaven.
Well, bearded dwarven women. Like, some people are like, yeah, dwarven women need to have beards. Other ones are like, psh,
Some of
that's
them might
beard.
be. Some of them may not.
Okay, it's optional.
It's
They
a
can
little
shave.
off-putting when you're not exactly certain what you're going to see under the beard when you're done. It's like,
What,
so,
you can't tell which one are the girls?
yeah, well, I can't. I'm sure it's easy for the doors, but,
You gotta look at the eyes.
Anyway, so they
thank you.
nod to you, and you're like, yeah, and they
Thank you,
go
Dan.
head off and goes, well, and they stop for a second and they say, wait a minute, you guys are at a bar.
Yes!
Ah,
Perfect! Come!
we're coming to your
Celebrate at the Lulan! We will put up a sign. I've always wanted to put up that sign that said closed for private party!
Yes.
Best
you
sign
have
ever.
the sign like
Yes.
in the back and like waiting to use it.
Yes.
All right. So you guys paddle off back towards the Doulahan,
Mm.
and that is where we'll call it.
48 hours of drunken revelry.